2 points. In the NFL, that decision can be one of the most high-pressure moments in a coach's career. It's a split-second choice that can make or break a game. If it works, you're the hero.
I can honestly say this, in all my years of being around this game, this one goes down as one of the greatest victories I've ever had.
If it doesn't, well, you're left with questions and second guesses.
What else could it be?
Touching by number 68.
The idea of going for 2 isn't just strategy. It's a declaration, a signal that says we believe in ourselves enough to risk it all. But sometimes, a 2-point decision doesn't just win you a game. It reshapes the future of your entire franchise.
This play determines right there who will pick first in the draft. Mills.
Let's set the stage. The Texans came into the final week of the 2022 season with a 2-13-1 record. They were in prime position for the number 1 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. And trust me, if you're a fan of a struggling franchise, this is where you start to dream big. A new quarterback, a new direction, and hope. The guy everyone had their eyes on was Bryce Young, the Heisman-winning quarterback from Alabama. But there was a catch. The Chicago Bears were sitting right behind Houston at 3-13, and with the Texans' win, the Bears could leapfrog them for the top pick. For a team as bad as Houston, the strategy seemed obvious. Lose the game, secure the number 1 pick, and bring Bryce Young in to save the day. After all, why risk jeopardizing the top pick in a meaningless game, right? Well, not for Lovie Smith. It wasn't meaningless. It was a chance to prove something.
I mean, it's down to 1 game, and of course, we split with the Titans, we split with the Jaguars, and of course, we have a tie versus the Colts, so getting 1 more win against that 3rd division opponent is big for us. That's enough. If we need some motivation for this last game, of course, I should give it to them.
Okay, it's week 18 and the Texans are playing the Colts. Heading into the 4th quarter, the game was tight. Houston clawed their way back from a deficit to find themselves down by just 7 points, 31-24, with mere seconds left on the clock. Then this happened.
Colts playing their ultra prevent defense on 4th and 20. Mills buying some time, fires towards the end zone, and it is caught.
Oh my word.
Improbable. Akins.
After this last-ditch touchdown drive, all eyes were on Lovie Smith. Now, most coaches in this scenario would kick the extra point, take the game to overtime, and let the cards fall where they may. But not Lovie. He wanted to end it right then, right there. And he did.
This play determines right there who will pick first in the draft. Mills to the end zone. It's caught. Akins. And the Houston Texans have retaken the lead.
The Texans would go on to win 32-31 over the Colts. On its face, it was just another win in a lost season. But for the Texans, that decision to go for 2 would change everything.
You get down to the last game, of course, and there's a lot of, I understand the outside things that were out there, boys, as far as our football team. We practiced hard this week to win, and as you see, it's one thing to give it lip service. It's one thing as you see how we fought right up until the end.
They won the battle, but in the eyes of many fans, they lost the war. Or did they?
Lovie Smith, guys. Fired by the Texans after 1 year. I think what did it was that win on the
we're going to go for a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, this is what we're going to do. You know that number 1 overall pick? I'm out of here anyway. All right, guys, take this with
I know, right? It feels that way.
Soon after the season ended, Lovie Smith was fired. The decision to part ways with Smith wasn't entirely about this final game. The Texans have been struggling under his leadership all season long. But still, the timing felt symbolic. Smith's bold call to go for 2 had won a game but cost him his job and set the Texans on an entirely different course. By winning that game, the Texans dropped from the number 1 to number 2 spot in the upcoming draft. The Bears, now in possession of the top pick, did what everyone expected. They traded it.
We've got breaking news out of the NFL, and it is big. The Chicago Bears are trading the number 1 overall pick to the Carolina Panthers in this year's draft.
The Carolina Panthers, desperate for a quarterback, offered a king's ransom of picks and wide receiver DJ Moore to the Bears in exchange for the top pick.
The wait is over. The Texans have their new head coach in DeMeco Ryans, the former Texans linebacker and team leader, returning to H-Town to lead the team in a new and a better direction.
With Smith gone, the Texans hired DeMeco Ryans, a rising star in the coaching world, to lead the team forward. Ryans, a former Texans linebacker, brought a fresh, defensive-minded philosophy and a vision for rebuilding the team.
It's a blessing. Yeah, I'm fired up. The excitement is real, and I can't wait to get to work, to get to coaching. All right, we want to bring a winning team. That's what we want to bring to Houston. We want to bring you guys a team that you're going to be proud of as fans, right? The type of players that we're looking for is players, right, who are looking to swarm. Right, we want players to have a special work ethic and a relentless mindset in everything that they do. We just want to make the city of Houston proud. We know that our fans here are hungry, right, for a winner, right, and they deserve a winner. So those same messages that I've gotten, people telling me how proud they are of me, I want to, reflect that in our team, and I want to instill that in our guys of how we go out there and play, how we practice, how we prepare. Man, we're preparing to make the city of H-Town proud.
But Ryans didn't just want to improve the Texans. He wanted to win, and he wasted no time in reshaping the roster to do so. The Texans, now sitting at number 2, were forced to pivot. With Bryce Young off the board, their next best option was Ohio State's CJ Stroud, a quarterback many analysts viewed as a notch below Young in terms of NFL readiness and potential, especially for that S2 cognitive test mess.
CJ Stroud's, the test is called an S2. So the S2 score has been leaked and the score is low. He has been asked about it.
His score was not only low, it was 18% out of 100.
CJ Stroud, again, on the field, #1 quarterback, no doubt about it. I don't like talking about this.
Texans fans were divided. Had their team just thrown away the chance to land the next great generational quarterback? Had Lovie Smith's decision cost them the future of their franchise? But that number 2 pick, yeah, it turned out to be the Texans' saving grace.
The Houston Texans select CJ Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State.
Because as the season unfolded, it became extremely clear. CJ Stroud was exactly what the Texans needed.
CJ Stroud just sees the field so well when he has a clean pocket.
Are you elite at problem solving? Because that's the story on a play-to-play basis, playing quarterback in the league, and CJ every single week, post-snap, becomes great at that.
Stroud's poise, arm strength, and leadership transformed the Texans almost immediately. He wasn't just a solid rookie, he was a game changer. By midseason, Stroud had solidified himself as the clear-cut leader of the team, and Houston finally had his franchise quarterback. But that wasn't the only significant move the Texans made.
The Arizona Cardinals have traded the 3rd pick to the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans select Will Anderson Jr., linebacker, Alabama.
In an aggressive trade during the draft, they jumped back up to the number 3 pick to grab Will Anderson Jr., the dominant edge rusher out of Alabama. It was an unprecedented move, drafting 2 cornerstone players in the top 3. And guess what? Both of them delivered. Stroud ended his rookie year as the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Will Anderson Jr., Defensive Rookie of the Year. Just like that, the Texans had 2 young stars at the heart of their rebuild, and the future looked bright. And this is what I like to call the butterfly effect. A concept where one small, seemingly insignificant event can have massive, far-reaching consequences. Had Lovie not gone for 2, the Texans would have lost that game. They would have secured the number 1 pick, drafted Bryce Young, and maybe Young would have worked out, or maybe he wouldn't have. But regardless of that, CJ Stroud, a generational talent, would likely have gone to the Carolina Panthers, seemingly sending both franchises in 2 completely different directions. Lovie Smith may no longer be with the Texans, but his legacy in Houston, well, that will live on for years to come, because his decision reshaped the future of not only the Texans, but the Panthers and the entire NFL. All because Lovie decided to go for 2.